Greetings, friends and future friends. Today I want to show you a short video on EQing, how I do it and how you can do it. There's so many great videos out there on EQing from some of these great sound engineers. If you want to get a more in-depth view of EQing, I suggest you go check those guys out. But the big thing I want you to watch in my video is the very end. I'm going to give you a chart and you can screenshot it, whatever you want to do. And it's a note the frequency, because that is the most important thing about EQing, is to know where you're EQing. So let's go up here and get our paragraphic EQ. As you can see, it's a straight line going across, and that means there's no EQing going on at all. So let's just look at this. Let's go to the 5,000 over here. Okay, what we're doing is we're increasing the 5,000 by 25 dB, or we're taking away minus 25 dB. Pretty simple. That's what EQing is all about. And then this is your bandwidth. You might hear it's on the bandwidth. What does that mean? It means the amount. So if we go to full 25, a narrow bandwidth means that it's going to jump pretty good from this frequency to that frequency. But if we increase the bandwidth, we're increasing the slope, which means it's going to start EQing around here and then get down to here. And at this frequency, at 5,000, it's going to actually be a 25 dB increase. But it's also going to increase along here. So almost at 26K, it's starting to increase. But if you're going to do a notch filter, say you have something at 5K that you want to get rid of, you can bring this thing real narrow and just drop it down. Now 5K and maybe something in and around it will be taken out. Now what's really cool, and I'll bring up the chart. So let's just say, for an example, you wanted to get an increase in the A4 octave, which would be a natural tuning A string on a guitar. What is that frequency? Well, we'll look on the chart and we'll see that it's A4 440. So what we can do is come down here, go into this menu here, and dial in 440. Now, this frequency right here is that A note of that guitar. We can actually increase it to bring that guitar up, or we could take that guitar note down. So just say, for an example, that somewhere along the line, the instruments are all colliding at that A40. That drone note is just not sticking, and there's just a little bit of a feedback. This is what you would do. You could notch filter that A out a little bit. Now, granted, you probably wouldn't go that much and exaggerate it, but I'm just exaggerating it so you can see what I'm talking about. Or maybe there's not enough ring in that note. Maybe when you're doing a nice ride on that note, you want it to stick out a little more. You can EQ that up like this. And again, you can bring it down tight, make that bandwidth tight, and that will solve your problem. Of course, we're exaggerating it just a little bit. So now let's apply this note to frequency theory and see if it works. First, let's go up to Start, and we'll take all the EQ settings and make them go away to a default setting. And let's go over to this bandwidth right here. Now we'll look on the chart and we'll see C#4, which would be my E6 string on my guitar, which I tuned down 3/2 steps, is 277. So let's dial in 277. And we'll make sure we're perfectly flat. And we'll preview it. Now let's preview it, and then we'll add some. And you'll hear the guitar increase. Let's try that again, but let's narrow the bandwidth down to maybe a 0.5. So now let's see what happens at this 277 setting, which would be my E6 guitar string. Playing it without any EQ. Now let's play it and increase that 277 and see if we bring that guitar out a little bit. You can hear the increase of that guitar. Because why? Because 277 is that C-sharp 4 frequency, and we're beefing it up. And again, if we take it away, or if we take it away completely and try and notch filter that. Let's bring it back to normal again. And that's what you can do when you EQ. Now I want to show you a trick that I've done for years, and it's a pretty cool little thing to do. When you're in your mix, you might hear that frequency that's giving you a little bit of a problem. Something doesn't sound right. You kind of know what it is, but you don't. Now, here's the trick that I've learned. Now, what we're going to do is go to start and get everything back to 0. Let's go to 5,000, bring that up. Bring this down to about 0.5. Now, what you can do is you can play back your music and then watch when I play back the music, and I'm going to slide this up and down the frequency band, and you're going to hear it change the music. And when it does, you can get it to that. There's that identifying frequency right there is where I want. And then what you can do is once you get this, because what you're going to do is magnify that disturbing frequency bandwidth. So in other words, we go in here and we're playing it. And just say, for example, that's the frequency that's giving you problems. Now that you've multiplied it and actually made the situation worse, now it's easy. All you do is go over here and boink. So again, bring that frequency up, go about a half octave, and then slide that thing up and down the bandwidth till you identify that frequency is giving you trouble. And you're actually going to make it worse. Where it sounds like, oh, there's something wrong there, this is going to make it sound worse. And when that happens, zone it in, and maybe you need to increase the bandwidth because you can hear how that changes things. Once you identified it and you've actually made the problem worse, then just reverse it and hear how things sound. And then again, you can change the bandwidth of how much you're cutting or taking away. So my friends, I hope this short video gave you a better understanding of EQing. And again, there are so many great videos out there with these great engineers showing you how to EQ. This is just a quick thing I wanted to show you. And from the rest of this video on, I'm going to leave it on for 30 seconds, will be this note to frequency chart. If you can screenshot it or do whatever you want to do, use it and use it in your studio. It'll help you out a great deal. Take care, my friends.